Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CM Trading. Today is October 5th, 2021, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, oil breaking to new record highs. But first, looking at the major economic events of the day at 4 p.m. South African time. Out of the United States, we have an ISM Services PMI number coming out. So that's an important number. And looking at the various markets, starting with the Forex symbols, the major pairs consolidate versus the USD as we hit a threshold. In terms of the indices, the Dow Jones consolidates. Even though it broke down yesterday, the Nasdaq still showing some weakness. In terms of commodities, gold breaking higher while oil hits new record highs. And looking at the stocks, it's the FAANG stocks that led the market lower, and JP Morgan still strong, so I'm kind of like in a mixed rotational move here. Now lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin continues to trade higher as the market consolidates. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So I'm going to start out with a weekly of the Euro USD once again, which we don't often do, but because we're hitting this threshold, and you can see that it's consolidating here at this 1595-ish level, but that is something that is understandable. Look at the 4-hour chart, but we see that it's could still break lower. Okay, so it's still in a downwards momentum. Okay, I wouldn't chase it here because look how much we've come down. All right, this entire move, 1898 to 1596, that's a 300 pip move, okay, over just over a month. Now, this is all happening together with the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones has been selling off, which means the dollar gets stronger versus the euro, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Now, looking at the other major pairs, Aussie USD finally catches up and trades lower, and so does the GBP, okay, but nothing really to write home about, meaning I would have expected the GBP to be somewhere in this 134.23-ish level, but that's set aside, okay? Jumping into commodities, looking at gold, we popped up yesterday above 1760-ish level, so we are still, okay, just in a move that's a sidewards range, okay? I mean, sideways trading or range-bound trading, however you'd like to call it. The bottom range right now is 1722, so really, we're right closer to the middle part of this range, okay? I would move this support level down here, and all else considered, although we are in a downwards momentum here, okay, because if we do draw this line, you'll see that there's a trend line downwards, okay, we are still between these two variables, okay, so that is something to consider. If this continues to break lower, then I would consider doing something else with it, okay, but right now, we're just trading within this range and a much lesser probability trade to actually enter anywhere, above 1735 and to enter anywhere above 1812, okay? Those is pretty much the gray area in terms of trading this particular symbol. Now, looking at oil, we popped up yesterday to $78 a share. Okay, now looking at a daily chart, that's it. We hit new record highs for the year. And you could see that quite clearly as this is pushing higher. This is a bona fide upwards trend. Now, I'm not saying we won't make a pullback at a certain point, but for right now, we are pushing higher. Now, looking at the major indices in the United States, first looking at the Dow Jones here. We're looking at the Dow Jones as it popped up the other day. Okay, this was on the 1st, okay, popped out to 34,279-ish level, but still in a downwards momentum. Okay, you could still see that, and we're just right here consolidating here. Okay, but the question is, will it break lower? Okay, so I would give it a few couple of days to see if we do get that breaking lower, because it is still weak. It's still relatively weak as this has been breaking down for quite some time. Now, looking at the Nasdaq, this is where it's really weak. Okay, look at that, and this is like falling out of bed, and you could see that with all the stocks. I mean, Facebook is being hit with it with some antitrust issues, and after hitting its 380 high, Microsoft is also selling off. If we look at a 4-hour chart, also consolidating here, but really selling off. Okay, if we look at some of the other major stocks, Apple also was down on the day, 138, just bouncing barely. Okay, so we could see further pressure on the downside when we look at these major companies. Amazon also trading to that lower lower support level of 3170. Now, lastly, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin did rally when the market sell off. Bitcoin has become the go-to stock, the go-to symbol on the upside, and that's exactly what happened. We traded up to 49,630 here, and we're right there. Okay, we're right just below that. So if that does break higher, okay, we could possibly see it back in that 50,000 range. Okay, that could still happen after this hit a double bottom here at 40,000. So that's something to consider as we move on in the price of Bitcoin. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.